Welcome back to the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft podcast. My name is Chris Speir. If you've been following this journey from the start, then you know it's been a wild, wild ride. From survival hacks to gear reviews to simply sitting by the fire and thinking out loud, this podcast has evolved just like I have. So today, today's going to be a lot different. Today, we officially set up camp at a place that's been years in the making, a place that means more than just canvas and kindling. This is Camp Wut-Da-Heck. And this podcast, well, it's being relit with the same spark that started it all, teaching real skills, telling honest stories, and making every minute out there count. So what we're doing, and you may notice it may sound a little different, I'm actually doing this podcast outside. I am actually at Camp Wut-Da-Heck, and we're going to go through a bunch of stuff about what to look forward to, what we're going to do. You may hear the dogs. You may hear the dogs doing their heavy mouth breathing or chasing turtles. Ranger loves to chew on turtles, and he will find 3 or 4 turtles and bring them over here and chew on them. And he might even find a copperhead or two. It sounds like he just got struck by a snake. So, let's talk about the last stretch. You may have noticed that I've pulled back a little bit. I've been late on publishing podcasts, and I've actually skipped a couple of days. I skipped 2 days in a year, and then I took a break over Christmas and the holidays. And, I pulled back from all my social accounts. I pulled back from YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all that, and to be honest, views started dropping. And I started pushing out as much content and as I could, and frankly, I started asking myself some real hard questions. And it was basically, was this still worth it? And was I chasing likes instead of living the life I was trying to teach? Was I chasing the social media quote unquote popularity, thing instead of actually doing what I wanted to do? And what I've been wanting to do is exactly what I'm doing right now. And that's why this has been a rebranding effort. And, I spent a lot of time praying. I spent a lot of time reflecting. I've spent a lot of time going through the data. I've been going through all kinds of stuff. I'm analytical. And, the answer came. Not in a comment section, but around the fire one night. And I realized I'd gotten away from the roots, the joy of sleeping out under a tarp, the beauty of the silence in the woods, the crickets, the grasshoppers, the owls, the coyotes in the distance, just the real sounds of the great outdoors. And the real honest connection that comes with building something with your hands and talking about what really, really matters. And I got away from that. So what has changed? Honestly, a lot has changed, but really not much at all. And this podcast isn't being reinvented. It's actually being refocused. I'm back, and we are back to real bushcraft lessons, shelter, fire, water, how to do it right. We're going to be focusing on storytelling, the kind that makes you laugh, nod your head, or even tear up, but it's going to be coffee by the fire. Yeah, that's coffee, it's real too. Primitive camping is the primitive camping blend coffee is ready to roll. We're going to sit out here and drink coffee underneath the tarp, and we're going to have fires going, and we're going to actually physically be in camp, wind, noise, and all, as we record this. Now, there are going to be some different changes. I'm going to be filming everything here at Camp Wut-Da-Heck. And Camp Wut-Da-Heck is my permanent outdoor studio. It's a place that honors a close friend of mine, Scooter. And it reminds me of why I started all of this. What to expect moving forward. What you're going to hear from me is personal stories that are from the trail, mine and from others. And, from the beaten path, deep dives into outdoor skills, not flashy, not little hacks, or, you might hear some hacks and stuff like that if it's pertinent to what we're doing, but it's not what it's based off of. It's just going to be true, honest, outdoor skills. And it's going to be lessons that tie into faith, quiet reflections that come with nature and God's word, honestly. And yeah, sometimes the wind will cut through the mic. A rooster might crow in the background. Dogs might bark, and you might hear overhead airplanes, because this isn't going to be polished anymore. It's going to be real. And that's what I'm trying to generate. That's what I'm trying to make. That's what I'm trying to convey. So, back to Camp Wut-Da-Heck, what it is, how it came about. And Camp Wut-Da-Heck is a dream of mine and a friend of mine, Scooter. Scooter succumbed to cancer 5 years ago, and 5 years ago next month, and he and I was, all the time. You'd see both of us together outdoors in the great outdoors, hunting, camping, fishing, bushcrafting, just doing it, anything and everything. And this man was an amazing inspiration on me to keep this going. We'd sit around the campfire at night, and he's like, man, I really would love to build a camp and just call it Camp Wut-Da-Heck. And I was like, why in the world would you want to call your camp Wut-Da-Heck? And he said, because it's going to be so ugly that when people walk up to it to see it, they're going to say, what the heck? So, in honor of Scooter, man, I miss you, dude. I really do. But anyway, we're going to move on. In honor of Scooter, Camp Wut-Da-Heck has been born. What I have done is I have put a couple 4x4 posts in the ground to hang a hammock on, to hang a tarp in. And we have strung up a ridge line and hung the tarp and hung the hammock. And I put a fire pit in, got a tripod. I have a massive stump over here. I mean, this thing must be 500 pounds. And that is what I'm going to be doing demonstrations and teachings and stuff from. So, moving forward, Camp Wut-Da-Heck is going to be the epicenter of Speir Outdoors. Camp Wut-Da-Heck is going to be the branding of Speir Outdoors. When you see Camp Wut-Da-Heck, as ugly as it is, you're going to think of Speir Outdoors from this point forward. You're going to think of primitive camping and bushcraft because this is where it is going to be from. We're going to try this out, see how it goes, because I really want this to be natural. I really want this to be authentic. I really want this to be outdoors. And I figured taking all this equipment down to the camp and hooking it all up and recording is the easiest and best way to be authentic, to be real, and to do it the way it's supposed to be done. And in honor of my good dear friend Scooter, Camp Wut-Da-Heck is now in business, and it is now a thing. Now moving on to a couple other housekeeping issues. I'm not doing videos on the podcast any longer. The podcast is going to strictly be audio moving forward. I'm simplifying a lot of things. The views were actually destroying my YouTube channel, and so much so that YouTube has stopped recommending my Speir Outdoors content. So, but the audio for this is actually like, in some countries, it's like number 4 and number 7. And, the podcast for Primitive Camping and Bushcraft podcast is ranking in so many countries in the top 10. It's crazy. It's really crazy, to be honest with you. It's really crazy. So what we're going to do moving forward is give you 100% authentic outdoors content from the outdoors. There might be times when it's raining. We got rain coming in, and it's going to rain on this tarp. It's going to be pretty loud. Then I'm not going to be able to but to record the podcast out here under the tarp. But it's going to be majority of the time done here in Camp Wut-Da-Heck. And it's pretty awesome to sit here and look around and actually see the great outdoors while I'm talking to you guys, and to visualize every one of you listening to it. Let's say somebody is driving to work, and, here you are fixing to go spend 10, 12 hours of your day at work. And I am glad to be able to bring this to you, the great outdoors, to you through this microphone, and help you visualize the great outdoors and help you visualize the primitive camping and bushcraft aspects of camping. So, I really want you guys to know that I'm not going anywhere. And I'm actually taking a step back from all my not primitive camping, but all my social media platforms right now. I'm taking a step back. I'm not going to be publishing much content for the next month and a half to 2 months while I am actually making real content on purpose. Everything from now on is going to be purpose driven. Everything from now on is going to have a reason behind it. Everything from now on is not going to be chasing views, chasing likes, chasing comments, watch time. All that garbage is out the window now. Everything from Speir Outdoors, from Primitive Camping and Bushcraft, the group, the Facebook page, all of that, everything is going to be on purpose, and it's going to have purpose. It's going to have meaningful content that is really going to actually grow, be shareable, be likable, be, and actually build a community. And that's what it's all about. That's always been my dream, is to build a community slam full of like-minded people. Not just because it's, so on the social media platform. I don't care about the numbers of followers and the numbers of subscribers. What I do care about is the number of comments that I get to interact with and people that I really get to talk with and make friends with. I have made friends with so many folks, Chris Chappelle, and then Jody. I have made friends with so many people through this journey that, it is time to turn the journey into a community of people, of like-minded individuals that enjoy camping, that enjoy the outdoors, that enjoy bushcraft, and start making a community out of it. And so without an effort of repeating myself over and over and over, I'm just letting you guys know, I'm informing you now that if you're seeing less of me online, it's because I have a purpose. And I am in the background filming, making, getting everything ready. And we're going to have a launch day sometime in May, if not the 1st of June. So I hope you stick around. I hope this doesn't scare you off that they're going to be. I'm going to be changing. I'm actually starting it's called the Waypoint, and on Facebook there is a new messaging platform, and the messaging group there is called the Waypoint. And so that was inspiration to go ahead and call my email newsletter the Waypoint. And, it don't necessarily just point to, the waypoint is a compass. It is a place that you are actually going to travel to. It is also, has spiritual connotations. And, we're going to be talking a little bit about faith throughout all this as well. Being the day after Easter, Easter is the most important day of the Christian faith. And, there's trains in the background. There's dogs barking. I told you, guys, this is going to be real. This is going to be real. But anyways, the day after Easter, and, you guys are going to really, really start seeing a difference in what is happening with Speir Outdoors, with primitive camping and bushcraft. So this isn't about algorithms. It's not about viral videos anymore. It's about sitting around the digital campfire with folks who care about getting better at life, at faith, and at camping with purpose. So welcome to Camp Wut-Da-Heck. Let's start over together. And you've been listening to the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft podcast. My name's Chris Speir. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Go ahead, hit the like button. If you don't mind, give me a review to let me know what you think. And if you want to connect, head over to SpeirOutdoors.com. Find me around the campfire at Camp Wut-Da-Heck. So until next time, I'll keep it primitive. I don't like that catchphrase. Let's see, keep it primitive. No. In everything you do, acknowledge Him. Yeah, that's going to be our catchphrase from now on. In everything that you do, acknowledge Him. All right, guys. So I'm going to see you next time. And next Monday, we're going to start posting this thing. It is actually going to be hitting Monday mornings, 6 o'clock every week. Don't forget to head over to Amazon, pick up a copy of the book, Primitive Camping and Bushcraft. It's 28% off, and it's like $14. And then go ahead and follow the links in the show notes for this for a copy, or get your 6 ounces, 12 ounces, 5 pounds, 2 pounds, 1 pound, whatever it is, of the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft blend coffee. And we will see you next week with a very purpose-filled episode. God bless you. I'll see you then.